Hey everybody! Oop, that was not what I wanted to click, but that sounds about right. Happy Sunday and welcome back to We Build. We're going to build today on RetroMetal. We're going to build RetroMetal in modern game. We're going to be continuing our build of a massive giant Apple IIGS in Minecraft. First of all, thank you Kansas Fester for the raid. Welcome raiders. I hope you had a good stream. Cat the Builder, yes, I suppose. Yeah. Although I do have some ideas. I've been working on some stuff offline, and I have some ideas for where to go next. They both involve Nox Archaeist, so that's cool. Just a couple ideas. But for now, we're going to continue to build in Minecraft. It's a blah. It snowed last night. I'm extremely surprised. Becky will be at VCF East. Ew. Oh, jeez. Okay. I have not made any decisions one way or the other yet. I need to look. I probably should start looking more closely at VCF East and seeing what it would take to get me there. I'd like to go. That's I haven't been on a proper real trip like that in since Kansas Fest 2019. And because it's during the school year, though, there's a lot more moving parts than just in the middle of July when I just throw everything in my car and find someone to watch my cat for a week. But we'll see. It's not off the table, but it's not a done deal. That's something I can work on in the next couple weeks. There's also the financial considerations involved. Because, want my own house. Desperately want my own house. But, let's see here. Let's get started. We can chat while I'm doing this. So let's get some desktop audio. Let's bring back this. Let's bring up I've got some music to play, because part of it is I want to listen to something. It really didn't come through very well last week, so hopefully I have a better balance this week. And let's go over here. Minecraft, here we go. Is loud enough? Okay, yeah, if it gets too loud, let me know. It's big giant circles, because it's not something that's not gonna bother, it's not gonna trip anybody's sensors, because big giant circles basically says, if you give me credit, you can use my music when you stream, and that's what the command is for. I'm perfectly centered on the screen, but my camera is off centered on the monitor because of the way my desk is set up, and it's really trippy. So what did I do? Oh, I did some stuff over the week. What I did. Could I make music lower? Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, that got loud in a hurry. How's that? Music too loud? Better? Like I said, I test this by better now? Okay, cool. I test this by recording, but then for some reason my recordings aren't always quite as good as I want them to. The fidelity's not the same for you guys, and I don't know why. Probably computers. Anywho, so I discovered that one of the blocks in this pack is called Invisible Lights. So I have installed. No test, yeah, I know. You can test and test and test, but then you never really know until you have a live audience. But I just like, and big giant circles, for a number of reasons, just always puts me in a Minecraft kind of mood. But yeah, so we installed every one of these blocks on the walls and on the floor now has a invisible light attached to it, so we can actually see what's going on the inside of our case. And then whenever we get done populating the board, I'll probably put some more lights on it. It's really just, I don't want to mess up what I've got on the task on the hotbar. What's it? I don't even remember where it is. Yeah, it is. It's a lawn where I can grow chips. I actually, and then what I also did... So spectator mode just lets me go through blocks. I lit up under the board and I fixed the standoff so they're all even. I don't know if they're necessarily correct, but they're even, and that was bothering me when I was lighting this whole thing up. So we've got that, and if we can keep going into the void if we really want to. Spectator mode is cool. So that's where we are. C-R-E-A-T-I-V-E. I can spell. But for today, yeah, it's a lawn where it is a lawn where we are going to grow chips. But before we get into the lawn growing chips part of the program, there we go. I have loaded up. This is why, and we start here. I loaded up the stuff for Chisels and Bits, and by that I mean I did this. Which way am I holding it? I don't even know which way it goes. So I figured 2 blocks by 2 blocks would be about the right size scale-wise for the logo, and I sat down with some graph paper. And I was going to do it. I have sketch for 1, and then I have sketch for 2. And I drew the lines, and then I just kind of gridded around it. So I figured we'd spend some time today putting in the logo and then populating the board. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the words yet. So Chisels and Bits is, I showed this mod off a little bit last week. The block of the quartz, what we're using. Fruity LEDs, yeah. I'm not using LEDs. I'm actually using concrete. So you can see I've got the way that Chisels and Bits is a little weird in that the bits don't exist in the inventory manager system. The bits don't exist in the game until you make them. Because otherwise it would super clog up the inventory manager. So I had to go into... I had to do a lot of like popping around in and out of survival to get the bar loaded. But the idea of Chisel and Bits is... I'm going to jump up on give myself a little footstool here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Is that I can go in... So I've got... I figure I can go on and I can just do... You can do one blink at a time. And then I can one... So I can do really, really granular thing. I'm not doing this for the whole thing. This is a special, like, Chisels and Bits. It's a really, really fiddly mod. in that you can basically lose yourself in it. But we can at least use it to put an Apple logo on R2GS without it looking really goofy. And then you guys can tell me if you think it looks stupid. This is what Michelangelo did? Yeah, I'm sure this is exactly what Michelangelo did. And you can all tell me if it looks wrong. Because I already don't, like... Because I feel like what I have drawn on the graph paper and what's coming out on the screen... It's not that they don't match, it's that it didn't quite work the way that the translation is not perfect. This is incidentally why I didn't put my glasses on. I didn't put my contacts in today. Because I knew we were going to be doing tiny fiddly things. Yeah, no, Michelangelo, yeah, he was a turtle. Like, obviously, these should not be. These should be white, which is why I also made a big stack of white. I am also fighting some sort of ick. It sucks. So we have a leaf. Yeah, that is exactly what I had to do. Was I had to figure out how to do the Bezier curves in low res. Yes, that is exactly. I mean, that's essentially what I am. That's kind of why I like. So Chisels and Bits is neat. If you've done a lot of low res graphics, because that's what it is. Chisels and Bits is just low res graphics in Minecraft. My biggest problem is that I hit F1, which makes the HUD go away, instead of 1, which is what's on my hotbar. So then, if we back up, I'd say that looks about right, scale-wise. Micro M8 can be 3D real res voxels. I know, Micromate is amazing. That is just a really, really amazing piece of software. And somewhere there are people who are really, really good at Chisels and Bits, like telling me I'm doing this wrong. Yes, but this is I do kind of feel like Michelangelo. I am standing on a small block. Kind of like I imagine he would have stood on the top of the Sistine Chapel. with a very small brush. Isn't that the urban legend? Is that he did a lot of the Sistine Chapel on his back using very tiny brushes? And this is already somehow deviated from what I planned. I probably should have backed up the world before I started, but I'm not that smart. We will vouch for you on LinkedIn. Cool. Alright, this is not how I drew this. What did I do wrong? I can't even... We should have backed up the world in 1998. Boop, boop, ba-doop. I did this. To be fair, honestly, I'm kind of like showing you what I'm doing here, but this may or may not end up doing something I might do. This is extremely... I have never played with chisels and bits, and now I think I know why. This is a level of precision that I am not used to dealing with pretty much ever. In Minecraft or in real life. I'm having one of those, I'm having that whole, if you're not doing it perfect immediately, and now you obviously suck at it, so you need to stop moments. And it's like, no, nobody does anything perfectly the first time. I also learned that you can do that. Apple Compute. I mean, and that's the thing. It's precision. This is my middle line. Boop. 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 I think we might have to fix this leaf. I'm looking at what I drew and it doesn't quite... I think jive with what I thought it was gonna be. Like, it looks good on graph paper, not so thrilled with it. But I think I'm going to get this installed the way I have it drawn, which I know that's a little lopsided, but for now, I'm going to roll with it just because it's going to let me match up what I have on this piece of paper. But yeah, that is kind of a lopsided leaf. The other problem here is this is not like a tracing or anything. I just totally freehanded. I freehanded the curves before I started, so they could be a little bit off too. I'm looking at the little thing I'm looking at it right next to me. Okay. Yeah, that is definitely not where I want that leaf to land. So the Minecraft sun and rain will turn that apple into an orchard. I wish. I wish. I think that this might need more planning, yes. I am extraordinarily not happy with how this is going, and I am going to abandon it. Not because I don't think I can do it. I know I can do it. I just think that somehow drawing 16 by 16 on graph paper is not translating to the blocks, and I'm not 100% sure why. I think what I probably need is some more practice with chisels and bits, which is fine. We can. Populating the motherboard is going to be more fun anyway. Boop boop. So we did put in the power supply or the power switch last week, so we'll be able to put the power supply in at some point. I'm gonna wake up a bunch of cats who are sleeping by the wood stove next to me. And there are a couple of very annoyed cats right now, like, excuse us, you're making noise. Who told you you could make noise? Nostalgic, welcome. So we have to decide what of this mess we're actually going to put in here. A bunch of cats. Yes, 2 cats. Let sleeping cats lie. I would like to let the sleeping cats lie. I didn't touch the sleeping cats. I just made noise. So we have our power switch hole for a reference point. So the first thing I notice, the first thing we need to do is clean this up. That'll take me next to no time to fix. So I need block of quartz. I need etheric quartz? No! Etheric green block. I need. Alright. Yes, a bunch of cats. Actual felines who are staring at me because I am disturbing some of their precious 20 hours of sleep a day. Oh, just give me block of black quartz. There we go. And I want gold blocks, and I want aluminium blocks. So the first thing we need to do, we realize, is we made the motherboard. That is, yeah, JEI in a nutshell. Made the motherboard too wide. The motherboard should stop before the power switch. So we need to knock some of these blocks and standoffs out of here. Probably over to about here. I probably should dig out the flux bore for this. But I don't know if, I think 4x4 is, I think, one of the ones that's like one of the sizes it doesn't actually do. But we definitely made this wrong. Quinn teaches you to keep... Oh, I mean... that's... Quinn's right. I mean, that's one of the things that I tried, very hard when I was teaching cooking. Alton Brown has a great quote, "Organization will set you free," and I used to say that all the time, and it's super true in the kitchen, too. It's true of anything. Like, one of the smartest things I've done lately is I got a file crate, like one of those like file milk crates that holds files, and I put a bunch of hanging folders in it. And now that's where I put all of my materials that I need for whatever I'm doing that day in class. And I can actually find them when I'm looking for them, and they're like in order. So like if somebody comes in and says, hey, I wasn't here on X day and I need the stuff, I actually have it. You like that? Yeah, I liked the. It's a block from a mod called Actually Additions. Actually Additions is fun because you play with lasers. You use the core mechanic of the mod is you use lasers to turn things into other things. So this is after you've taken this quartz and you shoot it with a couple times with the Actually Additions laser, you get this really cool green block. So I think the first thing we probably need to do is, so the speaker would go here. And I'm not sure if I'm going to worry about the speaker just because curves are hard in Minecraft. But there are a few things we are for sure going to put on the board, and I think that, well, I'm going to get this memory card out of the way. We're probably definitely gonna have to. We're gonna do, because we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna build the power supply on top of it. I need more light. I miss my studio lighting. I want to definitely do the slots, and I want to definitely do like the main chips on the board. So I want to do. The three big square ones, the rectangle, do the RAM. I want to do the memory slot, the regular slots, the fast RAM, the little 16-pin. The CPU, for sure. Obviously, we need... It had a good rep... Yeah, that's done in... so to do that in regular blocks would be 32 blocks by 32 blocks. It's just hard to chisel. Yeah, chisel and bits. Like I said, I have never played... I've played a ton of mod packs with it in it, but I've never actually dug in and messed with it. That's probably a good indication of why, because that's the kind of thing that would drive me nuts. But so yeah, we have the CPU, we have the ROM, the ROM 1. So let's just get started. I'm gonna get myself some light here. That's better. You'd be shocked how much warmer the room stays even when you're just by like closing your curtains. So let's start with the brains of the operation, and the brains of the operation is right here. I wish I had I do not have a bench stream set up at all. This is your 65 C816 right here. So that is on the other end of the board. And it's about 16 bits and 1 megabyte memory, too much for me. Yeah, but it works. What it comes down to, honestly, like I said, it was the easiest one to get. It was the easiest thing I had handy to get sound out of. Without, like, installing them. Like, I guess, I mean, I could have bought a Mockingbird for the 2E, but it's also really nice because the keyboard is not attached to the CPU. Well, I mean, it's attached, but it's not part of the CPU. So it's makes it a little bit easier when I have to, like, set it up on the desk. Ugh, like I said, oh, all right. So it is just shy of halfway from here. I am totally just guesstimating. Hello, 48K, welcome. I considered the $500 2E upgrade to GGS. We had a 2C, so we didn't really have that option. I'm gonna say... probably should just start thinking about how this is all gonna work. We're also gonna do... so the slots go back here. Whoops. Okay, I keep hitting. W is move, Q is toss. And I have a real hard time with W is move and Q is toss. Oh. So when it's not letting me press, it means there's probably a light there that I didn't knock out. So we've got slot. What are there? 7 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, there's 7. Today, yeah, the Invisalights. If I put them in my, it's actually kind of cool. Where's JEI? Invisible. What did I look up? There it is. Hidden light. Oh, Stupid Things is the name of the mod. And actually, I haven't turned it off. I have particles turned off, but if I turn particles back on, it's like a disco up in here. Oh, see, these are probably lights I didn't. It is like a disco up in here. Which is probably why this is... so the fact that there's so many particle effects that go with them is why I have the particle effects turned off for them. Yes, this 2GS. Yeah, let's talk about a 2GS that's just been retrobrighted. This is a representation of an Apple 2GS that has just been retrobrighted. Even the board is shiny. So you can see, like, if I can hold down shift and you can see where all the blocks are. I sat and I went through and I actually absolutely put one on like every... Yeah, Javi went way overboard. I mean, first of all, Javi went overboard because he retrobrighted the inside. I can turn this off. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's about right. It is snowflake white. Yes, it is. Retrobrighting is... oh, that is an excellent question, Nostalgic. Retrobrighting is the process of taking your computer and using a mixture of peroxide and OxyClean to take it from... to remove the yellowing that occurs with the ABS plastic. The ABS plastic on a lot of these machines was treated with something, I don't remember what, because I'm obviously like I'm cold, but it was treated with something to keep it, make it fire retardant, because of all the like hot, there's a lot of current going through these things, and over time it turns yellow. And somebody somewhere along the line found a method that involved you have to take everything out of the computer, because you don't want it getting on any of actually this stuff. This is the one that I haven't retrobrighted. This one's I'm thinking of bromine, but that's actually not to blame here. And I am not a chemist. I just know that my first time at Kansas Fest, I got this GS, and Javier came up to me and said, "Do you want to retrobrite it?" And I said, "Sure, why not? I'm here. I might as well, if I'm going to be at Kansas Fest, I might as well be at Kansas Fest and get the whole experience." So we did. We took apart the entire, he showed me how to take the board out and to take the RF shield out. We took the drive, we took the monitor apart, we took the drives apart, we took the mouse apart, we took the keyboard apart, the whole 9 yards. And you take it outside in the sun. At least this is how I was taught to do it, and I know there are other ways to do this. This is how I was taught by Javier, and so this is what I kind of use as my go-to. I'm not sure what the proportions are, because it's almost something like you mix by eye. You paint it on your plastic and you just let it hang out in the sun. That's why this is a good thing to do at Kansas Fest in Kansas City in July, when the sun is overhead and it's like 100,000 degrees out. And you come back in 2 or 3 hours and it's bleached to the plastic. And then you can let it keep going, or you can rinse it off if it's where you think you want it, or you can rinse it off, and if you don't think it's where you want it, you do it again. And you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. And I've seen Javier, I wish I don't have it. It's in storage. When I got my 2C, I think that was the next Kansas Fest when I got my 2C. I think I might have to move these. I cannot even explain to you how yellow the monitor was that I picked up. Like, I don't have any. I'm like, I can't even. It was the most disgusting, ugly, like brown yellow color I can even imagine. And it was, and then sometimes you get stuck on because they're on the ceiling too. They're on the ceiling too, so sometimes I get stuck on the ceiling. I think the slots need to be closer together. I should bring up our master, our picture. But yeah, and then you rinse it and you rinse it and you dry it and you dry it, and then you put the whole thing back together again. And it actually, so fun fact, it doesn't actually last. It will eventually patina up again. While you're doing it, you're undoing some, but not all of it. So honestly, the 2GS could use probably another trip to the spa. That's what we like to call it. Is the trip. We call it a trip to Javier's spa. Hang on, let me bring this up real quick. Preview. And yeah, so that's what retrobrighting is. And then you will hear people tell you that you can use like UV lamps. You'll hear people tell you need to, like, instead of painting it on, you need to like wrap it in cellophane, which I do have a wand. Yeah, I do have a builder's wand, and I'm going to, as soon as I want to figure out where everything goes first. And the builder's wand is not as good for that. just because the builder's wand, the builder's wand is not as good for that because the builder's wand, come back. Preview is opening on the wrong monitor as usual. You need to come over here now. Actually, no, you don't. I just need to find the right. I need to find the right old picture. So once I get everything, the builder's wand is for after you know how big you want your lines. Before you know how big you want your lines, that's generally not something you want to too much mess with. All right, this is what I'm looking for. Not you. You are useless. 42? That's the one I'm looking for. Okay. So yeah, we will bust out the builder's one when we get proportions figured out. But this is where we are right now, and I do think they are stacked a little bit closer together than I have them. Because if we come back over here, the slots are pretty darn close together. There probably is nostalgic. There's Minecraft mods for there's that honestly they're kind of you actually the it's called it's called Optifine. It is a client there's what we call client side mods, which are installed on your Minecraft instance, and it doesn't matter like whether the server supports it or not. It's something that the program inserts at your base machine level. It's called Optifine, and one of the things it has is like a telescopic zoom. That's probably exactly what you're thinking of. I do not have Optifine installed because I am lame. It's not even that I'm lame. I just don't... because I honestly, a lot of what it does that I would use, modded already does for me. A microscope? Well, that's why we're making it so big, see? I mean, I could make it bigger if I wanted. We could have done, like, 8 blocks... I could have gone 8 blocks to an inch, and this thing would be massive. It would also, we would also be able to make the motherboard, extremely granular at that point. Alright, it looks like we need... There's these 2 brown chips. Let's work in from the side. All right. All right, so there is a row of chips here. There is a column of chips here. These ones are a different color, but we'll put them in later. And then the slots are this long. The other problem with the builder's wand is it needs, so the builder's wand, let me get one. I can put the second, but once I get out of here, I have to do it by hand again. It has to all be connected. So unfortunately, it's almost just as easy to do it like this. The builder's one is for like enormous swaths of of Minecraft. It's just the sinus infection. I don't have the thing. In case anybody's wondering why I'm stuffy and coughing. The childlings keep bringing things home. So I've got... Oop. So we've got chips. We've got 1, 2, 3... Oop. I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... So I did not grid any of this out. This is all 6, 7. I wanted the board to grow kind of organically. I didn't want it to be super planned out. All right. So I spent all January coughing, so no. Okay, yeah. I was miserable in December. January I was fine, so I guess I'm picking up February. All right, so there are. Let's take a look at this real quick. So we've got our 7 slots pulled in. I can zoom in on this, though. So we've got... I don't have a picture without the memory card in. But these 3 chips, and then there's another set of these 3 chips right next to them. And so we've got our 7 slots. So I think we need to maybe put in this, and at least maybe this one really, really big capacitor. So we've got whatever this is. And we'll use a block of aluminum for our capacitor. And then there's a chip like here-ish. And there's like a thing with plugs right here. I wonder if we could make these one wider each. That would be cool as heck. And I'll show you why. Oh, here, let's just do it like this. Just do this. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we can't. Darn. Or actually, maybe we can. I think we're gonna... Hello, Amiga Gamer. Amiga Gamer, how are you? So I think the big thing for this project is going to be not letting the perfect get in the way of the good. And this is... I am starting to remember why this is one of those projects that I always thought was a good idea until I decided to try and do it and remembered why that people with OCD like myself should not try to do projects like this. Because people with OCD like myself, there's a weird macro, I think it's programmed into the keyboard, and it occasionally I keep going when I don't want to keep going. I'm pretty sure it's actually part of the driver for the, not the driver, but yeah, I guess driver's the word I'm looking for. The software that takes care of like the lights and stuff for the keyboard. Also lets you like program macros and stuff. So now we can use our wand to make our lives a little bit easier. To build these slots. And why I thought that this would be more fun to do it this way is this. I think they're supposed to be gold. Yeah, autocorrect these days is not super helpful. Because then we're probably just going to put the power supply. Honestly, I'm not going to worry about this stuff too much because the power supply is going to go here anyway. This is going to be our power supply right here. Which we probably should put in the power supply so we know what we don't have to populate on the board. You want a floating power supply? Well, I mean, it doesn't float. So, I mean, I can put in. If you want, I mean, I can put in the standoffs. So I could put the power supply standoffs in too, so that it's not... It only looks like it's floating. But now we can also use our... This is for... Again, now the wand actually is useful. I can even put the plastics, if you really want, I can even put the plastic standoffs in. See, we have a big ol' aluminum power supply. Something similar to, yeah, I mean, this is, it's a mod. It's called Better Builders Wands. It is a lot of fun. Because a couple of other Minecraft players I know are like, you're doing what? And I'm like, I'm using modded so I can totally cheat and use Builder's Wands. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if you look, there is a standoff about here. And there is a standoff about here. Here. Oop, no, we want, that's motherboard. So now it's not a floating power supply, now it's just a power supply. So there, we have a power supply. And then we'll do something, and I gotta we'll finish this, and then we'll actually finish the power supply on the back. Did I finish all the slots? I think I did, yeah. So now what I can do because why would that? Nope, we'll do it like this. If this stream gets DMCA'd for, if Apple sends me a C and D, yeah, let's not have Apple send me a C and D. That would be kind of cool. But it's a slot! And then, like, what I can do eventually is if I'll put invisible lights. And then the aluminum block will actually look like aluminum. We can plug a 555 chip into that slot. So yeah, we got our slots. We will probably also populate at least one of these slots at some point. We're gonna populate the memory slot. They look like killer bees. That's actually kind of cool. Yeah, unfortunately, like, the builder's one won't help me here. Because everything is offset. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Yeah. Very large chips. Extremely large chips. Extremely large sockets. Ugh, cat. I chase the cat out of my room, be right back. Finally, somebody, speaking of, stupidity of the world, cat food, like kibble, has been in short supply in our area. So I was actually able to finally this week find the appropriate type of kibble for His Highness. So he has fresh kibble. The resident cats haven't finished their bag of replacement kibble yet, so both of the resident cats are like, ooh, the good stuff, and I keep having to chase them away from his dish. Because he won't do it himself. Yes, I'm talking about you behind your back in front of you. But yeah, cat chow. Oddly enough. Cat chow, indoor cat food, has been an issue in our area. And again, I can put... and that'll light it up so you could actually see it. It actually looks gold. Star Trek Discovery has large... See, cat from... I always enjoyed... and this is... this is going to be super obscure, but I feel like at least one or two of you will know what I'm talking about when I talk about the British series Red Dwarf. And the cat on Red Dwarf was always awesome. He was kind of... I loved how they did that. What would happen if cats evolved? They would be vain and obnoxious. Lester and Rimmer and Cat. Grudge. Alright, now that's... oh, is that the name of the cat? Okay. I always just remember him being called Cat. Alright, so we now also want to put in our memory... She's a queen. Are you talking about Discovery or are you talking about Red Dwarf? Because I feel like I feel like we might be talking about two different cats here. I mean, all cats are royalty. Have you talked to the... okay, yeah, no, I'm thinking of... yeah, cat. That was just cat. All cats are royalty. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Yeah, I don't have the appropriate service to watch Star Trek Discovery. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not even sure. Is it Paramount Plus now that that's on? Is that what they're calling it? I legitimately barely have time to keep up with Marvel. And even then, like, Paramount Plus, okay, was one of the two services. Okay. Yeah, I went Disney. Which, you know, for all its... I'm like, yay, Disney! Except that, quite honestly, I've only really used it for the Marvel stuff. Everybody's like, what do you mean you haven't watched No, I haven't watched The Mandalorian yet. Leave me alone. Right, these slots might need to be a little bit bigger, but we'll see. I subscribed long enough to binge 3 seasons, then canceled. I just hate, yeah, it's such a, I wish it wasn't such a pain in the butt to cancel some of these services. Alright. So there's a big ol' honkin' chip right here. Actually, this needs to go up a little bit farther. Yeah, Disney Plus. Disney Plus, I think, is one of the ones everybody I know picked up. Probably because of Marvel. Because we all wanted to watch WandaVision. Okay, pay attention to which button you're clicking. I wish we could, yeah, I know. Well, and that's the thing. That's kind of my, it's kind of a rant I have, honestly, is that really at this point, streaming is just cable. Streaming is now everything we hated about cable. Chip and Loki, yes. Yeah, but I haven't seen Mando. I haven't seen Mando Season 2. I haven't seen, like, any of the Star Wars stuff. Yeah, look, but yeah, it's just a matter of time. I canceled all my... Yeah, that's what I'm trying to make it look like you can... I want it to make it look like the chip is, like, socketed, I guess? This is... I don't know. Is this... I was just going to make these the chips, actually. But you're right, it does kind of more look like a socket. I buy what I want. That was yeah, it was funny. One of my students asked me, they're like, "How do you get your music?" And they're like, "Do you use Spotify? Do you use Apple Music?" And I'm like, "I buy it on CD or on like iTunes." And they're like, "What?" I thought that is the memory card socket. That is... No, this is the memory card socket right here. This is this chip. And they're like, doesn't that get expensive? I'm like... I'm just old enough to want to own my own media. Yeah, no, this is supposed to be ideally... Come on. CD, it is a small record, but not made from vinyl. That is ideally... I don't even know if it's on here. This chip right here. I buy some stuff on... Yeah, like this. Like, obviously, like I'm playing Big Giant Circles right now, and all of his stuff is on Bandcamp. Yeah, I have an offline. I haven't. Yeah, like, and this is playing off of iTunes on my machine. This isn't Spotify, or this isn't even playing off Bandcamp. This is, I downloaded it. I loaded it in iTunes on this machine so I could make a randomized playlist for streaming, and that's how I'm running this. And then when I get in my car, everything's on my iPhone, and I just plug it into the car and go. Ugh. A record, it looks like a toilet paper tube, right? Yeah, right? But yeah, no, I do like Bandcamp. I do like supporting I like supporting like indie artists. The other band that I'm super into at the moment that I think I would get copyright, I would play them on here, but I think I would get a copyright strike, and I don't want to do that, is The Longest Johns. And they're on like, I think I got them. They are on like iTunes and stuff. They're sea shanties. Yeah, and there's a lot of cool stuff out on Bandcamp. Keyboard, numeric keyboard. So obviously we need to do these two chips. This is the CPU, and this is the ROM. These are the fast RAM chips. We're gonna do these. The game port, because why not? As a matter of fact, we do the game port. That's actually what we're gonna do. If I do the game port, that's gonna be a good kind of reference. But yeah, I have this funny thing where I like to own my media. It's the middle slot. ROM, Quark's nephew? No. ROM, like read-only memory. Okay, this needs to be white plastic. Same white plastic, I think. I don't want block of aluminum. I want block of quartz. But yeah, it's just like I am still, I'm still old enough, like, if it's available, ROM-splaining. I know, right? But if it's available, actually, I did want to do that. If it's available in a way that I can own a physical copy of it, that's how I want to own, like, a game. This is the game port I'm working on. Agree about, I want to own music or movie or, like, whatever. Like, people laugh at me because I still try to buy, like, physical copies of DVDs. Or, Blu-rays. Okay, so then this is going to be the 55 C816. It's going to be down in this neighborhood. Just, I want, if I paid for it, I want to have it. What I don't want is someone to be able to take it away from me at some later point in time. Like, I just realized how, like, the best to do this. You talked about making it look like the chips were socketed. I don't mind if... That's what I'm afraid of, Amiga Gamer. Like, I want to support the artist. I don't want... And it's... You know, I spent enough time in the early 2000s playing with trying to get... What am I trying to do here? I don't want to think about how many viruses I had to take off of my computers in the early 2000s. Just because of all of the like BitTorrenting I did. I was real bad. because at the time that was pretty much the way you got anime. Was you torrented for it. You know, a lot of, you know, at the time, you know, either BitTorrent or who remembers file sharing on IRC and all of the fun that was. Yeah, I think I did see that because I think it's on my list of things to get a hold of. Things to talk to my weeb friends about getting a hold of. I am not as into anime as I used to be. Oh yeah, no, that looks good. That makes the chips look socketed. I am extremely pleased with how this is coming out. I mean, anybody who's met me knows, I mean... But yeah, I spent a lot of my late 20s and early 30s bopping around anime conventions. Yeah, that sounds like... Yeah, that sounds like my jam. The IIGS anime sounds like my jam. And actually... I think I know somebody who might be able to know where to... Is it released in America, or is it something I'm gonna have to go digging for? I guess is the question. Because it has been a long time since I had to go looking for stuff. There is a big square chip. Partially under the motherboard. Partially under the thing, yeah. Okay, these might be too wide. I had a thought. I'm having a thought. Alright, because I don't think I want these 4 wide. I think I want these 3 blocks wide. That's a little better. There. Put a couple of these down so you all can see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, no, I mean, I want to play Witch Queen. I want to play Destiny 2's upcoming expansion very, very much. I want to see where they're, desperately want to see where they're going with this, and I know they're making some very interesting quality of life improvements in the game. So I'm very, very interested. So yeah, sometimes if that's all that's available is that's what you have to get. But for example, I bought the physical copy of D2 when it first came out. So if it's out there, I'm gonna get, let's try something. I'm gonna get a physical copy of something if it's available. Yeah, the physical copy of D2 does have a disc. I mean, admittedly, the physical copy of the disc is literally just, it's a disc with some information on it to tell the PlayStation 4 that I am allowed to play the game. Really, the game itself is pretty much completely on the hard drive. Like, I'm aware that that physical copy really doesn't mean anything. That, you know, what's on that, you know, the 4 gigabytes or whatever that's on that DVD is just some code that tells the machine. Right. I know, Amiga gamers. Yeah, so many are a C-theme code. Yeah, I mean, but like all the expansions, like there's no, you know, for Forsaken and Beyond Light and Witch Queen, you know, I have no physical proof beyond receipts on PlayStation Store that I purchased those, that I do own all of the expansions. Cat! Yeah, JCM, welcome! How are you? Jason did an interview about dongles. Ugh. We're populating a motherboard! Very slowly, because we keep getting... we keep going off on rants about DRM. Yes, it is Joe's Computer Museum, and if you aren't following them on, I believe yours is on YouTube, you could throw a link in the chat if you'd like. I don't have shoutouts. That's kind of the next bot thing I really need to set up. I need to figure out if Nightbot will do that. I'm sure Nightbot will do that. I just need to figure out how. Speaking of time that I don't have, time for projects that I don't have. Alright, I think this is a little bit better. I think this is proportionally better. Yes, follow him. Follow Joe. He fixes things live online. It's really a good time. So the battery would go here. I should definitely put the battery in, shouldn't I? That's definitely a thing. So the battery would go just south of the... So this would be the battery. So purple? Make it look like an old school Max. Light purple? I don't... I don't know what purpur is, but It's probably something freaky from the end. Which is probably why I don't know what it is. So the battery would go right about there. Yeah, these are blocks. So yeah, Purpur I think is from the end. Actually, actually, wait. Can I just give myself lava? So like that? I don't know why it's only going one way, but... So like that? That's actually really good. That's a thing that needs to happen, yes. Yeah, okay, that's what it's doing, is lava is pathing to the next lowest block. Alright, we need to... This is creative mode, so I can fart around and do whatever I need to do here. How many freaking... source blocks did you make? Oh, I think I know I see what it's doing. What I think we might do, just because I don't want the lava all over the thing. No, lava doesn't melt aluminum. Aluminum is from a mod called Thermal, which is absolutely one of my favorite mods, because it lets you do, when you're not using it for silly things like this. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. It lets you build, like... Yeah, so this is why you take the battery off the board, because they explode. So now it looks like the battery is leaking acid. Actually, is there an acid? So also, again, remember, this is in creative mode, so it's not always going to do... Actually... Oh, what is it that's kind of the, like, ugly brown? We could use creosote oil because it's, like, ugly and brown. But I think lava is much more appropriate. Good engineering, add lava... Yeah, you always take the battery off the board, and this is why, because it explodes. So this is absolutely 100% an in-joke for the community, and I am 100% here for this. So we have a battery under the power supply, and it's leaking. I'm just doing that because otherwise it's going to go everywhere. Flawless victory. Yes! That's so good. That's so freaking good. I never would. This is why I'm doing this on stream. I never would have thought of that. But otherwise, it would just go all over the board, and it would just be a pain. Like, I want to do it, but I want to make it a little bit controlled so that it doesn't mess up all of the rest of the build. That's so good. Alright. So just... Alright, we decided... Okay. Just north of this. Fan needed to cool off all the lava. No, I'm sorry. I think that just might be that just might end up being my favorite part of this build. Is the fact that I just put an exploded battery in this thing. But yeah, that's what I mean about the wand. It only copies. The wand is not as intelligent as you would like it to be. Counting. Welcome to another episode of This Is Why I Am Not a Programmer, because counting is not a thing I am good at. Now we're just gonna let that hang out over there. It's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt anything unless some unsuspecting person comes into our build, which I might make this available as a download at some point, but I'm not going to set this up. Running a server of this pack would require quite a bit of horsepower. Oh wait. All right. I do, however, programmers make the computer count for them. Yeah, obviously I'm not that smart either, because I'm sitting here doing my own counting. But yeah, when I said I was going to be looking for, community input and involvement in this build, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, yes, absolutely, we should put a battery in that's leaking acid lava all over everything. So yeah, keep the fun ideas flowing. Ah, Bob. Bob is Bob the Box Elder Bug. He lives in the basement with me. He's a good guy. He just likes to crawl on me and startle me sometimes. But yeah, he's a good guy. Yes, that is exactly what I did there. Sometimes I can deal with. Sometimes I can actually nail this hosting thing. Sometimes. All right, there's a big old square over here. So we've got our CPU and our ROM. We've got our slots. We've got our game port. We've got whatever chip this is. The fast RAM is going to go here. Is that audio? Right here? Is that what this one is? Lower right? Okay. This is what I'm working off of. Actually, let's just... I have this thing in front of me, so this is your audio chip right here, is what you're telling me? Is that what this is right here? I'm gonna toss some fast RAM in there, I think. That's next. Ah! Oh, you did board level repairs on a GS. Oof. Oof. So our fast RAM would go like here. Two. For the stupid things. Ah! No! Bad! Bad! Fingers! So there's our fast RAM. And there's something right here. Get unstuck here. Alright. There's like a square looking thing. Oops. There's a square looking chip here. Actually, that square looking chip should go over a little bit farther. Because there are here. Whoa! Some chips here. Yes, spammer, I'm on it. No, I don't want to reply. How do I do this? Why? Ah, here we go. Ban! The banhammer, it is... the banhammer, she is merciless. Alright, the standard RAM is down here. Yeah, probably because I'm streaming Minecraft, I'm going to attract a few more spammers than I normally would. Minecraft is one of those, it's going to trip. Okay, there's actually... There's a big square here. There's 3 squares, and I want to put all 3 squares. You don't generally, the bots, the spam bots are programmed to look for, you know, popular streamers, and it's like, oh, Minecraft, everybody streams that. Alright, let's make sure we're still going in the correct direction. So the standard RAM is like down here. There's like 4 chips. Because that'll... Yeah, I want to make sure, yeah, that's the one. UE6? Now you're gonna make me do the heart. Put it up on the screen where I can blow it up. Because that is absolutely... That's not a chip I want to forget to put in, is the below slot 2. That's not a chip I want to forget to put in. Slot 2. This one. This is, yeah, the UE6. Where is, oh, right here. This is the, right here? Yeah, there it is. Turn it to the side. Yeah, IWM. Let's make sure we put that in, because that's an important chip. So that's our, there's our IWM chip. There's also a couple over here that say sound RAM. Yeah, it does. Oh yeah, no, I know what happens when you blow up an IWM chip. I was there for the great IWM chip destruction. Alright, so there's... Whoops. There's a square here. There's an even bigger square here. This one is cool and socketies. Yes, you get no flobbies. It is a sad computer is sad. I'm not sure what this is, but it's a big, giant, like, overly socketed chip. It's... This thing. This thing right here. This is a picture of my GS without the power supply. The chest chip, is that what this is? You are big and this is the video generator right here. So someday you'll be able to use this to teach people about the thing. I put little signs on them. Yep. Okay, cool. UGC FPI Mega 2. Minecraft version looks like chessboard. Yes. Well, I'm gonna put it. Okay, so there's a one over here. Mega 2 is actually an entire 2E in a single chip. Okay. So, and that's, oh wait, that's actually down here a little bit farther. I'm trying to like portray a difference between the socketed and the unsocketed chips. Okay, there's another square down in here. Sure, kind of, sort of. I mean, I mean, you probably know this board better than I do. Alright, and there's another square over here. We might actually be... These actually could probably stand to be a touch longer. Ugh. So there is a square here. The Apple III mouse nest. There's another one here. And just for kicks, we're gonna put there's a oh, ew, 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 ew. Okay. Capacitor goes here. Capacitor goes here. Oh, neat. Okay. I lost an Apple III in a 16 by 16 room. It's like 1 by 1 itself, so yeah. Okay, can't go that way. So we have kind of a mostly populated motherboard. Oh wait, there's another square we can put in. Over here. Oop. Get. Actually, they're offset, so let's do this. That's disgusting. Yeah, no, I would have, like, run screaming for the hills. Alright, so, populated motherboard, question mark. Trying to think if there's anything else I mean, aside from, you know, putting little signs, which I could actually put. Chisels and bits, signs, iron battle sign, silver battle sign. You can actually make, like, signs. Okay, you can't actually use them though. You can make battle signs in, I think Tinkers. Yeah, this is in Tinkers. But you can't actually use them as signs. I don't think. Nah, you can only hit things with it. You actually can't put it down as a sign. Which sucks, because that would be really cool. Oh, okay, that's not something helpful. We can put... So, should I put the little sign here? So like that? Actually, that might be going up on the Twitters, actually. That what I'm taking. There's a way to put... I don't think there's a way... So we could like go around and like it's so now it looks like a school project. It looks like when I was... Did anybody else have to make, when they were kids, like a map? We had to do a map of a state. And we had... It was the salt map project. You mix, like, salt and water and flour. And it made this, like, clay. And then you had to, like... We had, like... Mine was huge, because we did mine on... I remember mine being huge just because I had Massachusetts. And... my mom took like the atlas and like she like showed me how to like use the atlas and carbon paper to like trace the outline of Massachusetts, like the size of the atlas, and we did it on a piece of drywall because I think we just finished renovating the house. I think he was still working on the basement. So it was this huge, like my mom had to take me to school. This thing was so big, and you had to you're supposed to like pour this goo and like, you know, like if you had carbon paper. And you had to like build up mountains or what. I had Massachusetts, so it wasn't... Mostly it was... We made a really thin blue and we poured a bunch of lakes. But then you had to like label stuff with like little flags on little toothpicks, like Boston, you know, whatever else. I can't remember whatever. I think Martha's Vineyard. I don't remember what else I had to label besides Boston because it was Massachusetts. But I just remember making the little flags and sticking them in the goo. And that's what this is now starting to remind me of. If I was to just keep doing this. Standard RAM. Sound RAM. Why is Sound RAM cockeyed? I don't know. I'm not even sure what half these chips do. I'm just going by what's like... I'm going by like what you guys are telling me. Like I said, I really enjoy... my favorite track on this album, on either of these, this is the Glory Days and the Glory Days remix. Out of both of them, my favorite track is the one it played a little bit ago. It's called Viceroy Danny Von B, and it's just, I think it's supposed to be like an homage to like Castlevania music, and it's like, it slaps. That is one of my favorite tracks. But we have a populated motherboard. I'm going to look up what the rest of this stuff does so that I can label it. And then next week, I think what we're going to do is either I'm going to practice with chisels and bits, or we're going to build a RAM card. The other thing that we do need to do at some point... Thank you. We gotta put the slots in down here. So we're gonna put the... We'll put the plug in here. So, like... Our power supply might be to be a touch wider. But this will be like where the plug is. I might do that with stairs. Yeah, Nostalgic, I'm pretty sure that's where they got the idea for the name. Chisels and Bits, we played with it at the very beginning. Chisels and Bits is a mod that lets you get completely granular. So if you picture, so Minecraft is built on 16. So like if we talk about a chunk, which is how Minecraft kind of renders itself in chunks. Show him F3G. Okay. So F3 is debug. Okay, so Minecraft thinks in 16 by 16 chunks. A little behind the curtain here. So the way, like where this is 16 by 16 by infinite up and down. So what Chisels and Bits did as a mod was it took that concept and said, now what if each one of these blocks was divided into 16 equal little pieces? And then what if you could chisel out 16 by 16? What if you could chisel out, 16, whatever 16 by 16 by 16 is? Yeah, the sky's the limit, literally. So, like, if you were to do... So, whatever... I'm grabbing my handy-dandy calculator phone. 16 by 16 by 16. So, there are 4,096 teeny little bits in each block, according to Chisels and Bits, if I did the math right. Yeah, so you can get to do really fine detail work. We started actually here. This is where we started playing with it, and I realized that what I drafted out on graph paper is not jiving with what it's doing in the game. But this is an idea of what you can do with it. This is eventually going to be the logo when I sit down and graph it out properly. But I think that, yeah, it's a really neat mod. But we've got our light up, we've got our power light, and this is our entry door. And we've got our populated motherboard. So I think this is probably a good spot to stop. We'll figure out what we're going to do next week. We also have to build a disk drive, we have to build a monitor, we have to build a mouse, we have to build a keyboard. It cuts out little pieces of a block, yes. Here, I can show you real quick. Let me go like way over here. So if I put down a block of quartz and then I give myself a diamond chisel. Yes, it'll let me chip out. And then in survival mode, what happens? So I just chipped out. So if you looked, I just totally chipped out right there a piece of the ground. But yeah, you can go in and you can sew. It's a 16 by 16 by 16. And then if I wasn't in, like if I was in... It would collect all the little bits in my inventory. And then I could like, use them. And then I could set the little bits. So that's chisels and bits. So yeah, that is exactly what Chisels and Bits does. But yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. Game of life with little bits, yes. But let me fade the music out here. And actually, let me just turn iTunes off. But yeah, that was actually super fun. I am super glad that everybody is like, I love the suggestions. I am super excited about our exploded battery. I think that is right now my favorite part of the build, is the fact that we did something with that we blew up the battery and quit game. And did that kind of cool sort of thing. So I'm just looking to see who's online. And Hazemaker64 is online, and we don't usually get to raid them, so that's where we're gonna go. Hazemaker64 is creating a C64 RPG, so that sounds pretty cool. So while that's setting up, send this to Roger Wagner. I probably could. While the raid is firing, thanks everybody for hanging out, for stopping by, for chatting, and for lurking, and for suggesting and cheering and hanging out and subscribing and following and all the things that you do that make this stream awesome. Thank you very much for hanging out, and as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.